Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. I can't even contain it. I just want to say how much I've missed you guys a lot. If you've seen my community post, I had to like step away for a minute because I kind of just burnt myself out and my health wasn't the best at that point. So I felt like I needed to bring my energy back and just pour into myself. I felt like I needed me. You know what I mean? I needed my own energy, and I just wanted to pour into myself. But yeah, I really missed posting videos, and I just want to say thank you guys for like continuing to show love to like my past videos and all the past readings that I've done. I've seen comments here and there, and I'm just really grateful for that and just all the love that you've shown and how you've been so patient with me. So thank you so much. So in terms of emails, I have yet to wade through them yet. I've just been moving very slow. I felt the need to go very slow for January. So I should be getting round to them over the weekend. I have a lot, so please bear with me. And then personal readings, I'll let you guys know at the end of January the stance there in terms of like when I'll be restocking. I will be restocking, it's just a case of when, but I'm going to kind of come back to that at the end of January and see when feels right for me. So yeah, it's really good to be back and I'm very excited to be back, if you can't already tell. So happy new year. We are going to be taking a look at the 2025 predictions. So basically, we're going to just be taking a look at the energy that's in store for you over the next year for 2025. And yeah, I'm not going to focus too much on love because I'll be doing a separate reading. I normally do 2025 general predictions and then 2025 love predictions. So the love one will be going up next. So I'll be focusing more on love in that one. So this one, if love is a huge topic, I'll talk about it. But if it's not, then I'll just, let it be general. And as always with these readings, you are the one in control of your own life. You are the one steering the ship. So if you hear something that you do not like, or it's not for you, or you have the choice to just let it go. So yeah, I want to get straight in now. So we have 4 objects to choose from. Pile number 1 is the Victoria's Secret perfume. Pile number 2 is the little rabbit. Pile number 3 is the Sunny Angel. And pile number 4 is the Pearl Clip. So see which object you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual. And I'll see you guys at your timestamps. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what is coming in for you in the year of 2025. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shuffling tarot and I'm going to pull 1 card for each quarter of the year. So the first card will be January, February, March, 2nd, April, May, June, 3rd, July, August, September, 4th, October, November, December, and that's going to basically show me the kind of skeleton of the year, and then I'll pull some oracle cards and see what else comes through. So that's what we're going to do. So spirit guides, can you tap me into my pile number 1s, please? Tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. What is to come for my pile number 1s for the first quarter of the year? What is to come for my pile number 1s? We have the 2 of Pentacles. What is to come for the second quarter of the year for my pile number 1s, please? What is to come for the second quarter of my pile number 1s? We have Judgment. What is to come for the second quarter of the year, please? Not second quarter, third quarter, sorry. What is to come for the third quarter of my pile number 1's year? What is to come for the third quarter? What is to come for the third quarter of the year? We have 2 of Cups. Interesting. I'm just going to put this over it so YouTube don't try and take it down. There we go. And the final quarter of the year, please, spirit guides. What is to come for my pile number 1's? We have Chariot. Okay. And the back of the deck is the 6 of Cups. Okay. when I first started shuffling, I kept hearing that song. You know that song is like, I see trees of green, red roses too. I'm sure it's like a song about the earth. I'm sure it is. I felt that, and I felt very connected to nature when I was first tapping in, and I felt that coming into the year. Like I kept being shown like a mountain, and I'm like at the top of the mountain, and I'm making my way down into like a new horizon, if that makes sense. And I'm like adjusting to that environment, if that makes sense. Like I keep being shown feet going onto new soil and adjusting to it, because I feel like you guys have done a lot of work on yourselves. I feel like you guys have done a lot of healing. And I feel like over the winter periods, and I feel like this may continue going into the new year because we're technically still in winter, the spring is until April, there does feel like there's a flush going on, like a flush of the system and a clearing out, right? And I think you guys may still be feeling that. You may not be going into the new year, January 1st, being like, I want to get this done and this done. You may just still be feeling the need to flow. And that's because energetically, I feel like there's somewhat of a purge. I just see energies being released from you. And I feel like there's this feeling of, I don't know why I feel sensitive to light. I don't know why I feel very sensitive. Like my body feels very sensitive. I feel very sensitive to light. I may feel sensitive to certain foods. Like that's kind of like how I feel. There feels to be some sort of energetic clear out that I'm feeling. And I feel like your body's feeling that, because I don't know why I feel very connected to the earth. Like I want to ground. And I almost feel like my energy is being prepped for a new environment. Like think of it like, if your body was constantly in, like, let's just say, I'm thinking of somewhere where snow is, and for some reason I can't think of that, the North Pole, right? Your body naturally is going to get accustomed to that. So your body's going to start generating heat and be able to hold heat better to kind of keep you going. Whereas if you then move to a different climate, you move to like, let's just say Australia or somewhere like that, and it's hot a lot, you know, your body's then going to be able to cool itself and be able to take on that environment. And that's what I'm seeing. Like I almost feel energetically you're getting prepped. And I do feel, because there's something about late January to February where I feel like I'm looking at like what isn't serving me anymore, and what's kind of creating an imbalance. Like what I feel like I'm trimming the fat. Like I almost feel like I have a vision of where I want to go this year, and it's like what isn't working for me. And I see you being in a very practical, logical, very grounded state going into the new year. It's like, this doesn't work for me, I need to get rid of this. And there's this feeling almost like energetically that I'm hearing, where it's like, do I really want what I say I actually want? Like I have this vision in my head of something that I want, whether it's a goal, a relationship, whatever it is, like, do I actually want that? Because now I really need to put in the work. Like I need to prove that I want that, because I almost feel there's something that you're looking at, because I'm being shown like the star. I don't know why I'm being shown the three shepherds when they're like following the star, and I feel like there's something that I want, and I want to touch it, and I really, really want it. So it's like, what needs to leave for this to come in? So I feel equally as much as this clearing is happening, I feel like you're also going to be wanting to physically shake things up, especially February. February feels like a, if I was to give a card, so it would be the 8 of Wands. I feel like there's physical shake up, or maybe you're seeing the results of something. It's just like, I'm ready to move. I almost feel like December that you'd be coming out of, like December 2024, and then going into January 2025, I just feel like there's some sort of internal release, or just like a resolute. Like I keep being shown the World card in my mind's eye. Like it's time to let that go. I'm hearing that Lana Del Rey song, Paris, Texas, where she's like, when you know, it's time to go. That's what I'm hearing. So that is what I'm seeing energetically there. And with the Two of Pentacles, it's just, I feel like anything that's imbalancing you, anything that is stopping you from wanting to, anything that's stopping you from making you feel like your best self, or like, I'm kind of content where I am. I feel like I'm very much like, no BS, it's going, it's leaving, I need to get rid of it. You know what I mean? For some of you guys, I'm being told that's eating habits and, you know, certain like foods. You may be like, I don't want to eat this, or I want to try something else, or focusing on your health there. It could be like the gym or something like that. I just keep being shown that. I don't know why, I just keep being shown like a table with like a dish, and it's like, this makes me feel miserable. I need to get this out of the way and try this because this makes me feel clear. Could be literal eating habits. It could also just be the analogy that I'm being shown, where it's like, I don't want this anymore. I want things that make me feel good and make me feel, you know, peaceful, and make me feel loved and make me feel full. So that's what I see. I feel like the beginning of the year is like a sorting out time. Then we move into the second quarter of the year, and you guys have Judgment. So that's April, May, June. I actually feel like as you get into March, I feel like, I don't know why I'm hearing Silent Night. I feel like March may be quite quaint for you and almost just very chill. Because I feel like I'm being shown Alice in Wonderland where she lays back in the grass and she's like dreaming of Wonderland. You know what I mean? Like my world would be a Wonderland and she's just like dreaming. So it may be a bit of a slow month, March, but I just feel like things are kind of waking up within you. Because I see you kind of like sat back and just, I don't know why I'm looking at like the energetic new year. So I'm looking at like, which is like the end of March, and like Aries season. And I just keep feeling like I'm being shown us going into spring, and then I'm having a vision of you guys like laying in the grass, and then it's almost like light coals are falling on me and I'm just taking them in. Like that's kind of like how I feel. There's no rush here. I just see you really content and listening to what you need. I love that for you guys. There's no rush. It's just like I'm breezing. I'm just breezing. Like everything that's meant to be is going to be for me. You know what I mean? There feels like there's some sort of resolute, like the end of a cycle. That's really what I'm feeling that you guys are clearing up in the first 3 months, because as we get to April then, with the Judgment card coming in for like April, May, June, as we get there, I keep being shown, bear with me as I try and decipher what I'm being given. I'm being shown, okay, so I'm being shown like a road, and then I'm being shown like a big concrete block, and I have all of this energy in me, and I have like let's just say like a hammer with me, and I'm like banging the concrete block, if that makes sense, to get something inside. And there's like a diamond inside, and I can feel it, and I know that I've wanted it, and I feel like I'm knocking something down. There's something I feel like you may jump with, like jump forward to in April. If that, I don't know if that's like something you've been wanting to do career wise. I don't know if that's like a shift that you've been wanting to make. Maybe you've been wanting to move. Maybe you've been, whatever it is that may be in your mind, it's like, I really want this. Whatever that, I'm being told whatever that North Star was, whatever that like idea that you have in your brain, like this is something that I want. There's some sort of jump that's happening in April. Like there's something where it's like I'm tearing something down. Like I'm running, like, you know when they say when you have like a block or like a roadblock in front of you, and it's like, I'm not going to go around it or underneath it, I'm going to like smash right through it. That's how I feel. Like I feel like there's something I'm going to take a risk or a leap with. It could even be just something like, I'm going to apply for this, or I'm going to do this, or it's something where I just feel like I have to tap into a bit of like courageous energy. But I feel you got in like a surge to do it. So don't worry about what could that be, whatever it is. Like I just see sometimes this feels like April, something brewing, and I just feel like in April it's like, Joe, I'm just going to do it. And it just comes. It's just something that's naturally going to come. I feel like you're going to feel it, your intuition. I feel like you're going to want to jump towards something. There's something like courageous, like that just activates. So that, I don't know what that is. There's a lot of you guys watching, but for some of you guys it's a career path. For some of you guys it's just making a big change in your life and starting something, you know what I mean? And you're gonna feel a call to do it. It's just like, boom, I'm just gonna do it. So that's what I'm being shown. And then I'm being shown as I'm like walking down, because I'm being shown that pathway. I feel like as I'm walking down that pathway, I keep being shown a lot of movement. Then I don't know why, I feel like April into May, I feel like there's going to be a lot of shifts. And I feel if you guys are single and you're like open to dating or talking to someone or whatever, I feel like that may be heightened in that time. Because when I'm thinking of March and April, I don't know why I keep being shown like other people around. You know, this could be friendships and you guys just being more social with friends, could be that. But then I also feel like I'm blooming in the heart space. So I wonder if you guys may start speaking to somebody, or there could be like a relationship or something like that. That's just what I'm being shown come April and May. Like I just feel like there's fast movement there, but I feel like I'm around people, like I'm around someone, because I feel like I'm focused outside of me, not in like a bad way, just I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like maybe one of your manifestations are a blessing for you guys. Something that's been coming in for you is either like a really strong friendship or like a really strong like relationship, or a relationship that could bloom. And I feel like that's gonna happen around May or April time. Don't focus too much on timing, because timing's always in a state of flux, but I just feel like that second quarter of the year and the energy surrounding that, so April, May, June, I just feel like you may be around somebody or dating somebody, or you just may be more social. That's what I'm being shown. I just see like little things coming in. I feel like that time period would be really good for you, or quite eventful for you, and a little bit fast paced, but not in a way where I feel like any of you guys feel rushed. I feel like you're just going with the flow and enjoying because you're meant to be there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like you're going to be a bit more social come that time, and I do see little blessings and little manifestations coming in for you around that time as well. I'm also being shown like a calendar, and it's like I'm ticking things off on a calendar, and then I'm being shown a list of things, and it's like this. So if you've gone into the year going, I want to achieve this, and this, I feel like April, May, June, the ticks are going to be coming on the calendar. Like I did this, I managed to get this. You're going to tick quite a few things off your list of what you would have wanted to get done in that time. I see such a surge of energy, which I think is the response to the release at the beginning of the year. Because there's a time and a place for it all. Like there's a time for the tide to go out, there's a time for the tide to come in. That's what I'm being shown. Then we move into July, August, September. You guys do have the Two of Cups. Like I said, I didn't want to focus too much on love, to be honest with you. But to be honest with you, I do feel for those of you that are single, I do feel that maybe a time where you're going to be talking to somebody or seeing somebody or dating somebody, or you just, again, will be focused on other people. I feel like this year, to be honest with you, there's a lot of enjoyment, I feel. There's a lot of living in the moment and going with the flow. I feel like a little tadpole just like going down the lake. But I do think that you're in a very receptive energy, or you're getting into a very receptive energy going into this year. And there's something about like me, and this is your higher self coming through, like wanting to learn through other people, because I almost feel like maybe in the past the way that I normally would move, or maybe in the past the way that I would approach things, it might have worked back then, or maybe it didn't work back then, but I kind of want to try something different. And I see you really learning, like your soul really learning kind of from other people, because I keep being shown like a little poppy in a field, and then around it is like a rose and a daffodil, and it's like you usually were just around a bunch of poppies and you were just used to conversing with the other poppies, but you're already a poppy, if that makes sense. Like you've already learned what there is to know about being a poppy, and you can learn so much from the daffodils and the roses. So that's why I feel like I'm kind of projecting outward. Now this could also be like, if you guys work with clients, you could be working with clients and talking to clients and talking to other people and making connections there. It could be more of a business thing. Again, because I'm being shown the 11th house, this can also be friendships and you focusing on that. It can also be community as well. You know, that can be, you know, if you guys start social media and you have a community like that, that could grow, or, you know, you could build something like that. But then, you know, one of the biggest lessons that, you know, we learn in terms of like mirroring things back to us is in relationships as well. And I do feel that the third quarter of the year, July, August, September, I do feel like there may be like romance coming in. Again, if you are single, it could, if you are in a relationship, it could be friends, it could be co-workers, it could also be you just advancing. So if you are in a relationship, it could be that, you know, you get married, or you know, you have a baby, you know, something like that. It could be that. But also for those of you that are single, I'm not gonna lie, it does feel kind of directed at like a relationship, or it could just be dating and learning about what it is that you want. But for some of you guys, I do feel like it's a specific person, which I'll take a look at in the love reading deeper when I put that one up. But I do feel like a lot of this year is focused on like connecting with other people, learning from other people, being vulnerable and opening up in that way, being open with your emotions. If you look at the card there with, you know, the guy and the girl, they both have a shell that they're holding, you know, and I'm looking at it like we're coming out of that shell to be vulnerable. When, you know, things in nature, they have shells, it's to protect something soft. And, you know, you may have gone through a period where you felt like your heart had to be hardened, or you felt like you had to hide your vulnerability and your softness. And I just feel like this year you're learning to kind of crack the shell, and not even just crack the shell, but just come out of the shell a little bit and learn from other people and learn other people's like madness, like, you know, their own inner like world and their own inner madness, and like how they move and how that works. I was thinking of like method to the madness, that's why I said madness, but that's what I'm being shown, like you guys learning like other methods and trying new things, and I think it's going to mirror a lot back to you. I just keep being shown like a daffodil or a, rose or whatever, and it's like they're all like mirroring things back to me, and I think it's going to be an interesting time. I think you're going to grow a lot, but not in the way that maybe you feel like you've grown before. Maybe you've grown inwardly or like on your own, or maybe through pain, and this doesn't feel like you're learning through pain or growing through pain. This feels like you're growing like in love and growing in like experiences and connecting with people, and that's how this feels. So it feels really good for that time period. That's what I'm being shown. And then we have the Chariot card as your 4th quarter of the year. So what I see for the 4th quarter of the year, I think you're going to learn a lot about yourself this year. And I think that it's going to awaken a lot within you. I think there's going to be a lot of activations. And I think that how you maybe view where you want to go right now as you're going into 2025, it's going to be added to by the end of the year. So think of it like you're going into this year and you want to build a brick house and it's just all white and there's nothing in it. Think of the poppies and the daisies and the daffodils that you're going to meet this year, and the imprint that that's going to have, and what's going to be woken up with inside of you, and what parts of you are going to be woken up, and what you actually, want and desire out of life. That's going to give you a lot to think about. By the time you get to the 3rd quarter, it's like, yeah, I still want the house, and yes, it is still black and white, but now I know I want to put vases over there, and I want the windows to look like this, and I want the chandelier to look like this, and I want this type of garden, and these are the type of people I want in it. I feel like you're going to have new goals, I almost feel like, towards the end of the year. Because I don't know, I'm seeing like a home, so I don't know if somebody's like moving house or something like that. I keep being shown a home, or you could be somebody that just wanted to be single and flowing about, but now you're like, okay, I'm ready for commitment and building something like that with somebody. You could decide to travel and move to new places and things like that. That's what I'm being shown. But I almost just feel like I'm getting things in order to get there, because I see new desires and ideas, and I see you kind of like working towards that. So it's almost like, think of it like when you have like a career project that you're working towards, and it's like, okay, this is what I want. And then you start to work on those goals. So you save up the money for X, Y, and Z, and you put the effort into X, Y, and Z. That's what I see in the 3rd quarter of the year. It's kind of like, with the Chariot card, it's kind of like, okay, I'm getting organized is really what I'm being shown. I'm getting organized. You may be saving money. Or I feel like you're coming, like I'm being shown like I'm crafting I'm being shown like clay, and I'm crafting a specific shape of like what I want and what I want to make. You know what I mean? And going into this year, you were like, I just want to craft something out of clay. I don't know what. And by the end of the year, it's like, I want to craft a dolphin. You know what I mean? Or I want to craft, I know I was going to say a penguin, but whatever. I just feel like I know what I want to craft now. I see your sights being set on something again. And my heart feels very, very open. I feel like this year you're going to like love and be loved. There's something about like just sharing love, and I feel like my heart is really open. There's like a healing energy here, but not healing where it hurts. I mean, of course, purges may come up, and you may be in that energy now if you've been coming from that in December, but I feel open. You know what I mean? There's a loving energy here. And I also feel like this year you're going to connect a lot back to things that made you happy before. So maybe like you went through a healing phase and you disconnected from a lot of pieces of yourself. Or maybe you let go of certain desires of what you thought you could have, and you were like, I'm never going to find love again, or I'm never going to amount to this, or I'm, my relationships or my connections or my friendships, they always end like this. Or my work and my career, like, I don't know if I'm actually going to get there. And I just feel like this year, I feel like you're connecting back to your inner child. There's that wonder, that like inner child, like wonder that you're connecting to. And I think desires that maybe you put away before, you didn't feel ready for before, you didn't feel good enough or whatever. I feel like you're going to take leaps and bounds like with them. And I think you're going to connect to little parts of like little you, if that makes sense, like your inner child. And I think other people are going to mirror that back to you as well, I think. So let's pull some oracle cards. So let's pull these. Anything else for my pile number ones in 2025? Show me the energies that my pile number ones are going to be dealing with in 2025. Show me the energy of 2025. We have patience and planning. Show me the energies of 2025. we have prosperity begins. Oh, hang on a minute. Okay. Do you see how that comes in the middle? And I felt like the second quarter of the year you were opening, and then the third quarter there was like love shed, and that's literally in the middle. Prosperity begins. Yeah, and I think a lot of the prosperity that I'm being shown is a direct result of the release that would have happened at the beginning of the year. You then have recognition and reward. Here, the back of the deck, you have conflict and defeat, and that's where you're coming from. Conflict and defeat. Okay. Conflict and defeat. Yeah, I do see somewhat of a struggle, like December of 2024, which, you know, you guys would have already gone through, and early January. Like, I just feel there's just like a lot pouring through me, I feel, emotionally. But I just keep being shown a resolute and a release. That's what I keep being shown. And I think that resting period then through January and then February, it's almost like I'm ready. Like I don't know why, I just feel like this is what I want and I'm ready to show up for it. Like, this is what I want and I'm ready to go after it. That's kind of how I feel at the beginning of the year. And that's where I see, come February, I see you making some moves and sorting things out. You could even, like, February time, start cleaning your home, decluttering, shaking things up. You could move. You could, I don't know why I'm being shown switching of cars. So I don't know, somebody could be getting rid of an old car and getting a new car. Because I keep feeling like I've let go of something for something else to come in. I'm letting go of this to come to this. I'm stepping off of this step for this to come in. That's what I'm seeing with patience and planning then, because it's like, to get this, I need to do this. To get this, I need to do this. To feel that clear energy, I need to remove this. To, you know, feel happy in myself, I need to be doing this, this, and this. It's just like a movement, and you're physically doing it. There's some of you guys may have an activation that connects you to Mother Gaia and the earth. You maybe want to be out in nature more. Others of you, you may just be wanting to go to the gym and just, or it could just be you may be doing things like that connect you to the earth and ground into Mother Gaia. But for others of you, it's more like gym and grounding and thinking very logically. That's what I'm being shown as an earthy essence, you know what I mean? And I just see movement and shifting, and some of you guys may be starting at gym, some of you guys may be starting to save up money come February, or just there's something shaking up in February for sure. And then prosperity begins. Like I said, I just feel like you're going to see the fruits of the release that you went through like December, January. I feel like you're going to start to see those fruits by the middle of the year. I feel like you're going to start to receive them. I feel like things are going to start growing and blooming, and I think life is going to get, I feel like summertime is going to be very breezy and fun and flowy for you. Nothing like, the focus here is like, I feel like in the past, maybe things have been very chaotic or a lot, or maybe like if you've connected with people, it's been very intense and it's like, oh my God, this isn't that. I don't see that for you. I think summertime just feels very breezy for you guys. Really, really breezy. And I think because you're in that receptive state, things are just falling towards you. You know what I mean? But there is something like a block in front of you that I see you hacking through to get to something. It's like an internal block. So whatever it is that you felt like, I can't do this yet, or I can't take that leap and get into that job, or I can't, you know, get out there and start meeting people. It's like you're gonna take that leap and jump into it. That's also something that's gonna come in. And then recognition and reward towards the end. Then I just feel like there's something that's going to be I just keep being shown like a blueprint of like a new reality, and it's like, this is what I want now. All these things have woken up inside of me, and this is what I'm building towards. I'm thinking of like I don't know why I'm being shown like the Emerald City from The Wizard of Oz and Wicked, but it's like in a crystal ball. So I'm looking at it and it's like this, you know what I mean, like this. This is what I want, and then I'm kind of creating the physicality then and focusing. I just November time for some of you guys, I feel like I'm putting things into order. I used to play this game on my phone. I don't know if any of you guys have played it, but it would be like these little test tubes, and they'd have colors in them, and you had to put all the colors in the right, like the red had to be in red and the blue had to be in blue. If you've ever played it, anyway, but you had to get the colors in order, and that's what I see November time. So I don't know what that's about. It could be like putting finances in order, but yeah, that's what I'm being shown, like something to do with like November time, or like I know I want this, so I need to keep focused on this. Like there's just something that I'm being shown. Let's pull a couple more cards. Pile number 1, what's to come in 2025 for my pile number 1s? We have occupation. What's the focus for 2025 for my pile number 1s? What's the focus for 2025? We have thief. What's the focus? I just heard comparison is the thief of joy. I just heard that. And we have community, and I felt that. And the back of the deck, you have toil and labor at the back of the deck. I feel like that's where you're coming, because the back of the deck, it's like where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Toil and labor, why do we have that at the back of the deck? I almost feel like your energy in the past, maybe just towards life or like certain goals or, you know, whatever, I almost feel like I have to chase it. I literally feel like I'm chasing a carrot on a stick. I feel like I have to overwork in order to receive a little bit of abundance. And I feel like I have to overlove and overgive in order to receive an ounce of affection back. And I think this year, I think that's being settled within you. I feel very much in like a receptive energy and doing things with intent and then falling back and trusting. And that's something that's been so focused on and activated this year. And I think you're coming out of a phase where you felt like you had to give too much of yourself for something back. It's almost like I think you're learning and understanding that you are worthy. So you may find the end of December, like early January, you may be dealing with things that make you feel like you may be dealing with feelings where you felt unworthy for certain things, felt unworthy for, you know, finances, your career getting where you needed to be, relationships, connection with other people, love back from people. I think you may be dealing with triggers there. And I think that release is that kind of like low period, December, January, and then I see you there's some sort of like realization where it's like an aha, and it's like a light that kind of goes off. That's what I'm being shown this year. I do see movement in career this year though with the occupation card. Like I do feel like that block as well in the April time, like that big breeze block, like March, April. I just feel like there may be some sort of movement, or you may start something, or there may be like an influx of energy in your career or your work, you know, around that time period. It could be just like you working on yourself. And because I keep being shown courage, and like I'm being shown somebody being courageous, keep being shown the lion. So yeah, that's what I'm being shown. That for some of you guys, I feel like it's career, there may be like a move or a shake up or just something you kind of like do on a limb. Like I'm just gonna do it, not a limb, a whim. That's it. That's what you do on a limb. No, that's what you're gonna be doing on a whim. So I just see that for you guys with thief. When I put it down, all I heard was comparison is the thief of joy. I don't even know if that's the right saying, but that's what I heard. Why do we have that? Please, spirit guides, why do we have that? I think when these, because it's on top of prosperity begins, and I feel like when these bits of abundance fall in for you, it may slightly trigger some of you. Some wounds may come up in terms of like, am I good enough for this? Because I almost feel like I'm looking around and I'm like, am I good enough for this? Like, sure, there's people, like, let's say you're in a career and it's like, you're really good at what you do, but you might sometimes struggle with believing in it. You're working on it and you've been working on it, but then as that abundance starts to come in, a little bit of imposter syndrome may come in where it's like, other people are more deserving of me. You know what I mean? Or other people would deserve this. Or let's just say it's a relationship, you know, and you're opening up to a relationship. There may be some worries and wounds that come up in terms of like, what if I'm not good enough? Or what if this isn't enough? Or what if that isn't? And I think that may come up for you. And there's just a message for you to really sit with those feelings. Allow yourself to feel what you need to and allow them to pass. Because I think it's just a bit of imposter syndrome as you start to receive things, you know what I mean? And receive what it is that you deserve, because you do deserve it, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm being shown there. And then community, I just feel like this year is for that. I don't know, some of you guys may be building families this year, like some of you guys may be having kids this year and building families. Don't worry if that's not you, don't stress. Like, I'm not like, you know, you're gonna get pregnant. No, like, it's for people that would be building that anyway. But for others of you, it's just like building community in your careers, building community in like friendships, and again relationships, which I will be doing a love reading as well. But yeah, I just see that I feel like people are going to be mirroring a lot back to you, and I just think this year you're learning a lot about yourself through other people, which is really lovely. And I feel like it's going to be more of a social year, not straight away. I don't feel like it's going to be straight away. I feel like, I don't know why I keep being shown the snow, so I'm being shown like an igloo, like on top of a mountain, and I'm like in the snow, like kind of hidden away. So you may still feel like that right now as you watch this and it goes up. And that's okay. But I feel like you're just naturally going to kind of butterfly this year. Because of movements I feel like you make in February. So again, you're the one steering the ship. If you don't want to make those movements, that's fine. But I think the movements you make around the February time, it could be March, could be making them now, you could bring it in early, I don't know, but those movements are what changes things. There's something happening in March, or something's like, because I see like a box, and it's like, oh my god, this changes everything. Think of it like you had a hole upstairs to your house, but you didn't have stairs to get up there. So you just had to play around on the first floor, and then somebody gives you a ladder and you can finally get upstairs. And it's like, oh my god, this changes everything because there's more room and more possibilities and all of that. It's adding to the depth. You know what I mean? So I don't know what that is, but it's almost like a tool. I mean, showing a wand. I don't know what that is. You could get like money come in. It could be like a diploma of some sort, career-wise. You may not have a car and then you get a car. You may not have a home and then you get the home. So it's like your own little space. Something's in my hands. Somebody's given me something. Something's come to me. Or I've crafted something that I almost feel like this changes things. Like the lid has come off. I don't know what that is. Yeah, pile number 2. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Final card. And what is the energy for 2025? The final card. What is to come in? We have the Nightingale spirit. Love is all around. Yeah, literally, you have the Nightingale spirit. Love is all around. And in the back of the deck, you have the Otter spirit. You are never alone. So, and if you could see, he's there with like a heart. So, with that being said, this year, big movements in the heart space. You may already be feeling them. You may have even felt like towards the end of 2024, like I'm gonna go with like October, November, December time. You may have felt a little hopeless. You may have felt a little void of like emotion maybe, or just lost, and like maybe you lost your light. There was a purge making way for kind of like an upbeat, like a rebirth basically in your heart space. Because if you notice on the card, there's the green, which is the color of the heart chakra, but then on the outward energies of the card, there's black. So that black is on the outside because it's making its way out. It's like debris. And I feel like there's an expansion in your heart space, and that's what's drawing in people. And I think that you're going to activate even more as you connect with people this year. And that's why love is all around, is that because I feel like you're going to be connected to that within yourself and learning to love and receive love this year. And you may even look at love in a new way, because it's not just love in relationships. It's love for our parents, it's love for our children, it's love for our siblings, it's love for animals, it's love for our bodies and ourselves, self-love, it's love for Mother Gaia. And I just feel like there's more of that this year and lots of wisdom there. I feel like your heart is kind of like leading the way this year. And I don't know, I just feel like it's a heart year. Some of you guys may be going through your personal year number 6. I'm a numerology. You don't have to be. It's just an energy I see. And yeah, that's what I see. So I hope you guys enjoyed your reading. The love one is going to be up in a couple of days. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a beautiful 2025. I'm happy to be back. This has made me happy, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey part 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what is to come in 2025 for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 4 tarot cards, and they're going to represent each quarter of the year. So the first card is going to be January, February, March, the second April, May, June, so on and so on. And then that's going to create like a skeleton to show me like a map of the year, and then I'll be pulling oracle cards and that on top of it to add like a layer, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna get straight in. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides, tap me into my pile number 2s, please. Tap me into my pile number 2. Show me the first quarter of the year for my pile number 2s. What does the first quarter of the year look like? We have the Ace of Pentacles. What does the second quarter of the year look like for my pile number 2s? What does the second quarter of the year look like for my pile number 2s? The second quarter of the year for my pile number 2s. We have the Queen of Wands. What is this? What does the third quarter of the year look like? We have the Three of Pentacles. And the fourth quarter of the year, please. The Emperor. Okay. And the back of the deck is the Six of Swords. Okay, so firstly, I just feel like from an energetic perspective, like a lot of this year feels very self-focused, because when you look at like even what you chose, like it's the little mouse. I always say rabbit, but it's a mouse, and she has like her little baby, but I'm looking at that as like, one, the inner child, because I'm just thinking child and like inner child in your inner world and what lights you up. But I'm also looking at it like when we give birth to something, or when, you know, I'm thinking of like a seed and it growing. It's like another piece of us, like another version of us that's just out there. You know what I mean? And I just feel like I'm connecting back with the inner version of me and my inner child, and like I feel like I'm sitting there and I'm like, what do you want? Like, what do you want, and what makes you feel good? Because I know it sounds weird, like vibes, but like what makes me feel good? Like what energy makes me feel good? What music makes me feel good? What people make me feel good? Like, you know what I mean? What is it when I do certain things? Like what makes me feel admired and loved and appreciated? Like there's something there where there's like a building up of the ego this year in a good way. People always take ego in a bad way. We need our ego, and I feel like you guys are building that up and building up like self-confidence. And when we look at the word attention, we naturally think of it in a negative way, like, oh, attention seeking or whatever. But like our inner child loves a little bit of attention, and you know, loves to feel like admired and loved and seen. We all want to feel admired and loved and seen. And I think you're going to be really asking yourself this year, like, what makes you feel that way? And what makes you feel good? And, you know, what people make you feel good? And I feel like you're going to be really listening to that and giving yourself more of that this year. That's what this feels like. With the Ace of Pentacles being at the first quarter of the year, what I'm being shown is, I keep being shown Pinterest and mood boards. So if you guys are the type to go into a new year and be like, I'm going to do this, this, and this is my mood board, I see that. For those of you that aren't doing that, I just feel like the first quarter of the year, I feel like I'm getting things done. You may be really feeling the energy of the new year. Some people go into it and it's like, I still feel like it's winter phase, I need to flow. I don't see that for you guys. I really do feel like a lot of you guys are like, right, no more like laying down, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to make this move, I need to do that. A lot of physicality I'm being shown in the first year. Some of you guys may be like literally physically moving your body a lot, going to the gym, going for runs, things like that. You could be working a lot as well in the first quarter of the year. But I see you really building and pouring into yourself, you know what I mean? That's what I'm being shown. It's almost like I'm making something like for myself. I'm building a kind of like life that I want. I feel very I I feel like I want to pour into myself. It's like a self-love journey or a self-worth journey. So I see a lot of that. I just keep being shown somebody with like a morning routine or an evening routine or like a skincare routine and building that up. That's really what this is. It doesn't feel too heavy. It just feels very light. Like the version of me that I want to be and the version of me that is my best self would be doing this, this, and this. So that's what I'm going to do. And the version of me that wants this, this, and this would be doing this. So that's what I'm going to do. I see lists being made of like, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. There's a lot of that. And I know she's there just kind of like looking at the shelves in front of her, but I almost feel like I'm weaving and I'm sewing and really listening to what I want. And I feel like I'm getting inspired too, because some of you guys, I feel like in terms of like building up the ego, I'm thinking of like the creative aspects and like aesthetics and clothes and makeup and hairstyles and like what makes me me and what do I like, tattoos and things like that and jewelry. And it could be like I for one love like home design and things like that, so it could be that, like it's like what makes me me. And I see you getting in touch with that and like this makes me feel good, and when I do this makes me feel good. I even see some of you guys maybe like posting on social media a bit more, or just naturally liking how you look or pouring into yourself to make you feel good about yourself in that aspect. There's a really big focus on that, specifically like the body as well and physical and like how I'm coming across. There is a big focus on that. And I don't know why I keep being shown The Devil Wears Prada. And when I think her name's Andy and like she starts wearing all the like cool clothes and she has a little bit of a makeover, I don't know, I'm just being shown that. So some of you guys may be making a shift or a shake up there, or I'm hearing that song I'm Coming Out. I'm sure it's Diana Ross that sings that. There's something there where I'm just making myself feel good. That's really what it is. And you're allowed to do that, and I think it's going to be a really fun way of like healing your inner child and making your inner child feel seen and pouring into your inner child. So I see that for you guys through the first quarter of the year. It might not come in straight away. You may be building and getting things in order first, but that's what I see. I see a lot of that and just nurturing and giving all of that affection and attention to your inner child. And I see some of you guys doing meditations like, what do you want? And what makes you feel good and what makes you feel seen, and how can I give that to you? And I see a lot of that, to be honest with you. Because of that work that you're doing, going into the second quarter of the year, I see a lot of confidence. I know we've got the Queen of Wands, but in my mind's eye, I'm being shown the Queen of Swords. So I see a level of confidence. I see a gush of energy. I see a lot of golden energy around you. I see you standing in your power. And I just feel like put me into the energy. I'm hearing the part from like Home Alone where Kevin is like, I'm not afraid anymore. And then he like gets from under the bed and he like runs outside and he's like, do you hear that world? Like, he's like, I'm not afraid anymore. Like, I'm like, that's how I feel. Like, I don't know why. I feel like I'm finding my voice. I don't care about being seen. Like, I'm ready to be seen. I feel good. Why not? Like, that's what I'm being shown. Like, it makes me want to cry a little bit. Like, your inner child is such a focus this year, and your inner child, like, I don't know why, and it's making me emotional, but I keep being shown like somebody at like a play or like a ballet play or something like that, because I'm being shown ballet, and I'm like looking into the audience and like caregivers aren't there, or people that I would want to praise me and lift me up aren't there. And I then keep, another thing I'm being shown is somebody like, I keep being shown ballet, so it's like I'm in like the living room and I'm going to dance and somebody's like, stop, just stop, like you're too much, like just stop. And I'm internalizing it in terms of like, oh, I need to box myself in, like I can't show these aspects of myself, or I should be ashamed of them, or like me having needs to want to be seen and praised and admired, like that's a bad need. To feel good and feel beautiful and attractive and handsome or whatever it is, like I that's a bad need. And I feel like what's happening in the second quarter of the year is I feel like you're going to realize, no, that's a good need, because I keep being shown like you on stage doing your little ballerina dance, looking out to the crowd, and then older you, big you, higher self you now, like clapping, and like inner child you is like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm being shown. So there's something there. It's like you being your own cheerleader. I also see like somewhat of like a bit of a solo journey through the beginning of the second quarter of the year. Like some of you guys may be like, I'm gonna take myself out to eat, or like I want to go do these things, maybe I don't have anyone to go and do them with, so I'm just gonna go do it myself. Or like I'm normally waiting maybe in the wings, or I'm hanging by a thread for other people to say, yeah, I want to do this, so let's go do that. And it's like I see you in that time period being like, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I'm going to go and do it, because I'm being shown that like I'm just going to go sign up for that class, or I'm just going to go and take myself out to lunch, or I'm just, you know, there's a lot of that I'm being shown, and just listening to the beat of your own drum and just being your own cheerleader. And it's like I can just do this on my own. Like I feel like I'm not waiting for anybody, and I'm just showing up. And I think that's really going to be really healing for you. I see you feeling very good about yourself, very good about like your body, your looks, and your internal energy, your self-worth, your career, everything. And it's nothing to do with like, I got my body looking like this, or I did this amount of healing. It's all to do with like, I understand that I'm worthy, and I understand, like, I'm giving myself that energy that maybe in the past I looked elsewhere for, you know, to have it back from. And it's like I'm giving myself that. So there's a really big focus then. I really see you standing in your power. I just keep feeling like I'm speaking my truth too, and I just feel like there's aspects of you that I think you guys are very funny and jokey and vibrant. I think that's you. And I think there's been parts of you where you've just repressed those parts because you've been told that it was too much. Or, like, you know, people are like, oh, cringe, don't do this or don't do that. And you kind of question yourself and take on their wounds. And, you know, and that's happened before. And I just see you kind of like spreading your wings like a peacock in that time period. This time's about you. I don't know why I keep hearing the SpongeBob song when it's Pearl's birthday. And they're like, it's all about you, Pearl, on your 16th birthday. I think it's 16th. I'm hearing that. So I don't know what that's about. Some of you guys may have a birthday in that time period, or you just may be feeling like, it's my birthday every day. Like, I make myself feel like that every day. It's like I'm romanticizing every day. I'm pouring into myself. I'm showing up for myself. That's really what this is. In the name of like inner child healing and self-love. Like, that's really what it is. I see you just pushing forward with that. You know what I mean? Then we move on to the third quarter of the year. Tap me into the third quarter of the year, please, Spirit Guides. We have the 3 of Pentacles. Tap me into the third quarter of the year. Tap me into the third quarter of the year. Bear with me. Sorry for the noise in the background, and that was the cats. I was just checking on what they were doing. They try to take the food packets out of the food box, and then I have to hide it, and then they find it again. Because they can get into the drawer. I don't know how. And I was making sure that was secure, because otherwise I would have gone down to packets all over the floor and they would have overeaten. But yeah, so 3 of Pentacles. Tap me into that, please, Spirit Guides. What's going to come in the third quarter of the year? What's to come in the third quarter of the year? You guys are like natural leaders. I feel like you guys are naturally people that inspire people like rays of sunlight, if that makes sense. And I feel like you inspire people, and I think that the light that you give out, it really does activate other people. And I feel like going into the third quarter of the year, some of you guys may be working on a project or bringing that energy into your work in terms of like helping others, lifting other people up. Some of you guys may start social media. You can start TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, anything like that, and be bringing your energy out there, because I keep feeling like people are benefiting from your energy. I don't know what that's about. So you guys could start something career-wise. Others of you though, I don't know why I keep being shown, I keep hearing tall poppy syndrome. So what I'm being shown is like you guys have a very vibrant and bright energy, and I feel like sometimes you felt like I vibrate too much, or I'm too much. I need to like bring this down to fit into my environment. Because of the love and the energy you're pouring into yourself, you're going to be like, I'll be the tall poppy. I'm just going to shine. I'm just going to keep blooming. And as you start to do that and make noise with it, I feel like you're going to notice like, oh my God, there's a tall poppy over there too. There's a tall poppy over there. And I feel like you're going to find your people. And it may just be 1 or 2 people at the beginning of that third quarter, but I just see for some of you guys, it could be community. So it could be like career path. It could be your community. You could be heading up like certain things and like joining different groups and things like that. It could be that you could be connecting to people that are similar to you. But I feel like also, I just feel like there's something to do with your career in that time period. I feel like you guys are helping other people or uplifting other people. I feel like some of you guys are going to do something with your career where this is going to benefit, or this activation in your energy is going to help your career in some way and draw people in. Others of you could draw some like friends in and stuff like that, but I don't know, I just feel like I'm drawing people in. You feel very magnetic is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know, I just keep being shown your sun energy going out and people benefiting. But it could be like your work that's benefiting. Like you could even make moves in your career because of that energy. It's like that self-belief, like I can move up and I can move forward. The 3 obviously is ruled by Jupiter, so that's expansion. So you could even move up in your career, like that energy could help your career. You could get a promotion, or you could be making more money, you know what I mean? Because it's like that self-belief. I don't know what I was gonna say. I was literally gonna go, it's like a rocket up your ass. But no, it's literally like, yeah, it's just like an activation. If you want to see it as that, cool. But I don't know, I just feel like there's an activation where there's like finances, because I'm looking at the pentacles and the treasure chest here. So it's like there's a moment for like your finances to go up, or like some sort of other people benefiting from you, but then you benefiting back. Like you're like going out and you getting it back, which is making me think like career, my energy is going into it, so I'm getting it back. I'm posting content online, I'm getting the energy back. I don't know what that is. It could be that, but it could also be in my work, I'm really showing up, you know, for myself, I'm getting it back. So that's what I'm being shown. There's an energy of abundance there that I'm seeing. So I feel like money and your career and things like that, really, really good the 3rd quarter of the year. July, August, September, I feel like there's going to be like up levels in that. And then we move into the 4th quarter of the year, which is the Emperor card. Why do we have the Emperor card? Please, Spirit Guides. Why do we have the Emperor card? Your sights are going to be set even higher. Like this belief in yourself and what you're activating, literally I'm being shown an onion and the layers just being peeled and peeled and peeled. And I feel like I'm wanting to do things that I never thought that I would even say I'm going to do. Like I'm going to go on vacation to Australia, and like you've never been or even thought about it. You thought, well, that's expensive to go from like North America to Australia. I don't know if I can do that, but it's like you're just going to take the leap, you know what I mean? Or you may be like, I'm going to buy this house, you know what I mean? And it's like before you never thought you'd buy a house, and now you're like, no, I can do that. Or I'm going to build my career up to this point and make this much money. And before you never would have even thought to say to yourself, I'm going to do that. Like before you're like, oh my God, no way. Like there's no way I could do that. And I'm saying things with my chest here. Like that's how I'm feeling. I'm hearing yes and by Ariana Grande, and it's like yes and like say that ish with your chest. Like I just feel like there's a lot of self-belief here is what I'm being shown. And I feel like you're letting go of the patterns of where you felt like you weren't good enough, and it's because of this healing of your inner child. But the healing you're doing, I don't feel like I'm sitting here and I'm crying and I'm doing that sort of healing. Maybe you've already done that, and that's why the healing that I'm getting is you pouring in. It's the light, it's the fun, it's the joy, and the flame just keeps getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And all of a sudden I have all these ideas and I'm passionate about certain things again, and that's what I'm being shown. Sorry for the noise. Is a plane quite low? Every time I hear a plane quite low at the minute, I'm like, oh my God, because of what's been going on with planes at the moment. So every time I hear, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, where are you coming from? But yeah, let's go. If I had my phone around, I would go on Flight Scanner and check where the plane's headed, because that's what I normally do. But we're in a reading, so we're not going to do that. My guess, because a lot of planes, I don't know why I'm telling you, but there we go. A lot of planes, when I check them, they're going to JFK from Gatwick in London. I don't know. That's just what I've noticed. It's a pattern I've noticed. So there's that fact for the day. Pile number 2. What is to come in 2025? This year's about you. Like, I really want to sing that SpongeBob song. It's all about you, Pearl, on your 16th birthday. Pile number 2. What is to come in 2025? We have mental conflict. What is to come in 2025? Ooh, what have we got? Authority. One more card, please. What is to come in 2025? Stand your ground. And the back of the deck, you have positive movement forward. Whenever I see that card, it makes me think of Moana when she goes across the sea. She was headstrong, and I feel like that's what you're tapping into this year. Yeah, so mental conflict. Why do we have mental conflict? Why do we have mental conflict, please, spirit guides? Why is there mental conflict? There are going to be moments this year where, as you start to listen to your inner child and be like, what do you need? What makes you feel like you want to dance and sing or whatever? There are going to be moments of fears. I think there are going to be maybe deep-rooted emotions, because this looks like a tree behind his head. There's going to be deep-rooted emotions where whatever it was that made you feel like you couldn't sing and dance and be your authentic self, or whatever made you feel like you needed to hide away certain needs and felt like you weren't seen, there are going to be moments where those things come up for you. And I think that you will process them. It doesn't feel too heavy though. Like it's more like I see you going to do something that would make you feel confident, and then as you go to do it, like there's this dull feeling inside of me where it's like, oh my god, no, I'm just gonna be made fun of, or I shouldn't wear that, or I don't know, like I don't know if I should start that class, or I don't know if I should go out on a limb and do that, or I don't know if this style suits me, or whatever it is. I see like little moments of that, because it's your first time nurturing that side of you since there was a wound there. And I just think the more you do it and you show up for yourself in that aspect, it's going to get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. You're really pouring water into the root, for it to grow. So that's what I'm being shown there. So I feel like there are going to be some, how it feels to me, I feel dull feelings inside of me, and my brain's just kind of telling me like, actually, you can't do this, you shouldn't be doing this. And I just see the more you pour into yourself, it's going to be moved. I think, again, it's just pouring that fire into yourself. Like, that's the healing method, And then we have authority and stand your ground. I think in the past, you have had people that have seen your light and try to dim it. And I think that you've had people in the past that when you have stepped into your power, they've knocked you back, or they've benefited from you not seeing your light. And I feel like this year, I just feel like nothing's stopping me. Like, I literally feel like I could run a marathon. Like, I feel in this energy, like I am pouring into myself so much, because it's like, you are not, like, I see like there may be moments where somebody might like try and poke at you, or there may be moments where like somebody tries to trigger you. And I'm hearing the Camp Rock song where they're like, we can't back down. And I'm being shown, like, I don't know if you've ever seen, but I'll explain it to you. In Camp Rock 2, there's this one scene, it's like on social media, and there's Camp Rock, and then there's like another camp, I can't remember the name, and the Camp Rock people are like, I'm sure they're like threatened by them, and like, I don't know if they're threatened, but they're like, we're gonna take a stand, like, you know what I mean, we're Camp Rock, like whatever. And the new camp is like by these trees, and then the Camp Rock people come over, and they're like walking, but they're like doing like a march with their hands, and they're like, Camp Rock, Camp Rock, and like everyone's just looking at them, and it's really like, what are you doing? But I'm being shown that scene, and if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's like you, and then like your inner child, your shadow self, your guides, like all like come in. So when somebody's trying to push at you and be like, you can't do this, or don't be that, don't shine your light like that, whatever, it's like your whole spirit team and your inner child and all the versions of yourself like, Camp Rock, like pushing back at it, like you can't, like, push me down. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing, like that scene. It's like I'm fighting back. I don't know why I'm being shown the scene as well of Twilight when they go against the Volturi, and they have like, you know, they have like Bella and Edward and the cousins and all the wolves, and they're all stood there in a line. Like, you feel really protected. You have such fierce guides, and you're such a fierce person, and I think you're going to see that this year because you're activating it for yourself. And I think that's really beautiful. I think that's what's happening this year. And I think it's also going to help you tap into your own inner authority. Because I felt you getting into an energy when you get to that Queen of Wands of like, I said what I said. I think you're going to find your voice a little bit. Because I said what I said. I said what I said. That's what I meant. That's what I said. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm seeing that. So let's pull some more cards. But yeah, we have positive movement forward at the back of the deck there, you know. So I just feel like I just see a lot of brightness this year. I think you're going to be feeling really good about yourself. There's like a turning point is what it feels like. Pile number 2. What is to come in 2025 for my pile 2s, please? What is to come? There are going to be periods of release, okay? I'm not going to lie, like that's what's coming through. I'm just looking at the Six of Swords. There are going to be moments where you may dip a little bit. Little bits of purging, little bits of releasing. There's so much weight you're moving in terms of giving to yourself. The more we go down into the mine of our subconscious, we're going to find the diamonds, but we're also going to find the sludge. So there are going to be bits of sludge, you know, there may be triggers that may come up. Little moments where you just feel a little bit down, but you just pop back up. Like I just see like a phoenix. Fire is like your element this year. You may be going through a personal year number 1. You may be going through a personal year number 5. Yeah. You may also have a lot of transits in your first house of astrology this year. Pile number 2. Oh my god. We have poverty. Yeah, I feel like in the past, I feel like you felt like you weren't good enough. Like you weren't seen. There's like a neglect here that some of you guys may have faced in your childhood, like feeling neglected, feeling not seen. Because I just keep being shown like a kid at ballet and looking out to the audience and no one's there. Or they're just not paying attention. You're just making me think of that movie with Peter Pan, with Robin Williams and the kids at the play. And I'm sure the dad either doesn't show up or he's just like on his phone. Peter Pan was the dad, obviously, but he like was just not showing up. Like he wasn't showing up at all. And I remember one of the kids was playing baseball and he either wasn't there or just turned up right at the end, and the son was like upset. Like I can't remember it, you know, like verbatim, but yeah, I'm being shown that like your inner child has felt like that, and maybe by other people too. Like maybe in friendships you felt like you haven't been seen, or in connections you felt like you haven't been seen, and it's made you feel like I'm not good enough, when in actuality you have such a light. And maybe sometimes people have felt like they couldn't pour into you the way that you could pour into them at times, and you've taken that as like rejection when it was nothing to feel rejected about, you know what I mean? Pile number, you are going to be dealing with that this year, and I think you may come face to face a little bit this year with just moments and maybe memories, or just releasing of like when you felt like you weren't enough. But if you think of like that Peter Pan scene with Robin Williams, like obviously Peter goes to Neverland because Hook takes his kids, and Peter comes back and connects with his own inner child, and then he shows up for his kids then, you know, he saves the day, he saves his kids, and then he has like a new found perspective on life, and he shows up for his kids then. So it's like you being the Peter Pan, you coming back onto that ship, and you know what I mean, taking your inner child back, you know what I mean, from feeling neglected. Like you're doing it. I feel like that movie may be very healing with what I just said. So if you want to watch Peter Pan, the one with Robin Williams, I feel like it would be quite healing for you, to be honest. I think movies in general might be for you this year, but yeah. But I feel like you are gonna face some feelings of I'm not good enough, but you're gonna move through them. It's taking you into a new energy. Pile number 2, what's to come in 2025 for my pile number 2? We have unexpected income, just going to pull one more card. And we have message. Back of the deck, you have lovers at the back of the deck. Okay. Unexpected income, like I said, with the Three of Pentacles, I feel like the energy you're putting into some sort of career, business venture, I feel like it's going to get you an uplift in terms of your finances. Again, this could be social media, because I just saw that you helping other people. It could be a job where you help other people, and that is, you're getting your energy back. But then I just also feel like if you're taking any risks or jumps because of that, belief in yourself, you believe you're worthy, it's coming in for you. So I do see your finances jumping a little bit, and I see, like, I'm jumping through hoops in the sense of, like, a goal that I never thought would even be on my list is now there. Lots of belief in yourself this year, aiming for the stars is basically what I'm being shown. Why do we have message, please, spirit guides? Why do we have message, please? Why do we have message? You may hear from some people this year, pile 2. Because this energy, when we are going through an uplift like that, our higher self knows that. And these shifts come in before we even step onto them, because it's like what's happening in the 3D, energetically, those timelines are already moving for us. We just can't see them yet. So knowing that you're going through that leap and that jump, you're going to shine a lot brighter than you have done. And I think that from an energetic perspective, you've been getting ready for it. And I think maybe people from the past that may have enjoyed your energy or you pouring into them, they're going to feel it. And I feel like they may start to try and run towards you, or you may hear from them. That's all well and good. I don't even see it being much of a hindrance for you at all. But I think that this year is self-focused in sense of, like, what do I like and what makes me feel good, and you really understanding how beautiful your energy is. And I think you're going to put some things to bed with, like, the old, like, from the past. And I think that people may come back and try to offer you things, but I think that what they're trying to offer might have been what you wanted before, but now you want more. Like, now that you're activating again this year, it's like, I want even more. And I don't think you can give that. And I wouldn't say it's like a test, but it's like, do I want to jump back down a few notches, or do I want to keep soaring? And I think that's what you're learning, like, what do I deserve, and going after kind of like what you deserve, if that makes sense. And with the Lovers card at the back of the deck, I don't feel like it's imminent in terms of, like, I don't see like a relationship, like, oh, a relationship's going to come in, but I do feel like you may date this year, and I feel like people are going to be drawn to you. People may come back from the past. You're very magnetic this year. People are going to be drawn to you, but I just think I see a self-focus and moving slow. I'm hearing pick of the bunch. Take your time, move slow, date people. How do they make me feel? Take your time with it. You know what I mean? That's for if you're single. Just take your time, move slow, just flow, and see what makes you feel good and what makes your inner child feel good. And that's the message here. Just take your time with it. And it could be that people from the past come back and trigger little things from the past, as well. But it's all helping you heal. That's what it is. Final card for my pile number 2s for 2025. Final card for my pile number 2s for 2025. One more card, please, spirit guides. We have the Frog Spirit, clear out the clutter. On the back of the deck, you have the Snake Spirit, take time out to heal, and it's reversed. So I feel like you've been shedding the skin, and I feel like now you're ready to slither out, if that makes sense. And with the Frog Spirit here, I think you're adapting to new energies here, because when you think of the frog, like it's in the water and then it develops its legs and then it gets onto land. So that's two different, climates there, if that makes sense. And I just feel like you are anything that was stopping you from just shining, I feel like you're just really just it's gone now. I think you've been untangling it for a while. I feel like you've been doing the work, because the frog comes from the water. You're coming from that. And I think, with the positive movement forward matched with what we have here, which is the Six of Swords, that's two bolts moving on. I think that's what's happening this year for you. I feel very joyous and very bright, and I love that for you guys. So pile number 2, that is what I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what is to come in the year 2025 for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 4 cards, and each card is going to be a quarter of the year. So the first card is going to be January, February, March, the second being April, May, June, and so on and so on. So we can kind of get a base and a skeleton of the year ahead. And then I'll be pulling oracle cards on top of that to get a depth, get more depth into it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So let's start with the first quarter of the year. Let's get in. So pile number 3, please spirit guides, my Sony Angel pile, tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. What's to come in the third quarter of the year for my pile 3s? What's to come in the first quarter of the year for my pile 3s? We have the 5 of Wands. Okay, as I was tapping in, then I saw like a tsunami wave. Like I saw like a big wave of emotions coming in and challenges like inwardly. Could be a purge or a release. I just got shown a big wave. The second quarter of the year, please spirit guides. I'll get into it now though. Let me just get the cards down. Second quarter of the year, please spirit guides, for my pile number 3s. What's to come in the second quarter of the year? We have the Queen of Swords. What is to come in the third quarter of the year, please? The third quarter of the year for my pile number 3s, please. We have the Emperor. And the fourth quarter of the year for my pile number 3s, please. We have the 4 of Swords. Okay. The back of the deck is the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. 5 of Wands, Queen of Swords, Emperor, and the 4 of Swords. So let's go to the first quarter of the year. Tap me into the 5 of Wands energy, please. Okay, the energy that I'm getting, I kept being shown that wave of like emotions. So there's almost like a release. I don't know if there's something you're letting go of at the beginning of the year, because I just feel like this wave of release, like there's a let go. Like I feel like I'm letting go. It reminds me of a quote I put up the other day. It's a scissor quote. It wasn't a quote, it was lyrics to her song, No More Hiding. And she said, everything I love, I've got to let go. You've got to break it if you want it to grow. So I don't know if there's something you're coming to terms with. You could be stepping away from something. You could be stepping away from a relationship. You could be stepping away from a job. You could be stepping away from something that just has been creating an imbalance within you. So whatever it is, you're meant to be stepping away from it. I just feel like that intuition, I just feel like I need to like let go. Because when we think of like the ocean and when it goes over the sand, all the muddy footprints, it kind of like washes over them and it makes the beach clear again. And that's really what it is. I just feel like in the moment, of course, there's maybe some internal conflict. I feel like in the moment you may be feeling very frustrated and very uncomfortable. It may trigger things for you. It's not going to last. It's temporary. Like everything is temporary. But I just feel like the first quarter of the year, there's something that you're coming to terms with, releasing and letting go. Now this could be you're going into the year doing shadow work, because when we think of, the year, yes, January is the beginning of the year, but April is spring. April is where we all bloom. You know what I mean? And I think you're just doing what we do in winter, like releasing, letting go. And of course, some of you are making shifts, like you're making changes, you're letting go. I'm hearing Bye by Ariana Grande. I don't know if you're leaving someone leaving someone in the dust. I don't know if there's like a connection or a partnership, because I'm hearing Bye by Ariana Grande. It's like I'm off, goodbye. Like so I don't know, there's just something where it's like I can't do it, like it's just chaos. It's just, I don't want it. And I feel like it's bringing up like a release, and it's bringing up like energies, because I just see like that wave of emotion like coming through you. So I see you working through certain emotions, and I feel like there's like triggers and wounds, and it's just all being like passed through, but like in a good way. It feels very cathartic, and but in a good way, you know what I mean? Because when I see you going into the second quarter of the year, we have the Queen of Swords. Like, I see you very aware of like, okay, how do I put this into words? When we've done a lot of purging and releasing and letting go, we really get down to our roots. And there's a fragility sometimes with that. Like when we get down into the deepest like crevices of our subconscious and who we are at our core, once we've peeled away everything we were distracting ourselves from, which I feel you would have been doing in the period before, there's like, I'm being shown like a softness. Like it's like, I'm hearing the Lana Del Rey lyric in Get Free where she's like, bear with me as it comes to mind. She says something to the reveal of my heart. Like she's waking up to the reveal of her heart, and she says like it's gonna take the dead out of the sea, like it's gonna take all the darkness away, sort of thing. So I see you going into the second quarter of the year, and there's that fragility inwardly of like, I want to build from the ground up like the right way. I don't know what this is about. It's almost like if you would have stepped away from a job, it's like, what do I truly want now? Like, what do I actually want out of a job? Like, what makes me happy? Like, what? It's like I've thrown something away that was not making me happy. It's like, so what makes me happy? I don't want to go and jump into another job or just chuck anything at the board until I know truly like what I want. And I see you getting really real with what you want in that second quarter. If you're walking away from a relationship, I see that time period in the kind of like the springtime, because it's like late March, early April that I'm being shown, but that could be different for all of you. Time is always in a state of flux. I think it's starting to hail outside. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like that's what I'm being shown for you guys. I just feel like I'm getting in touch with like, what do I want out of a relationship? What do I want out of a connection? Like, what do I want? It just started hailing, guys, but it's hopefully it should be fine for the audio. But yeah, I see you really sitting with yourself and being like, what do I want? Like, what is it how I don't want to just jump forward, like I want to take my time. So I see a lot of slow movement, and you're really getting in touch with like, what is it that I want out of a connection? What is it that I want out of a relationship? Like, what is it that I want out of my job? What is it that I want out of life? What do I want in this next phase? And I see you really, there's like a lot of meaningfulness that comes from this. I see you really sitting down and just, I don't see, I'm going to be honest with you, like I have to be honest in these readings, I don't see too much movement in the second quarter of your year. It feels still, but in a good way, because it's like you're listening to yourself. I hope that makes sense. Like I don't see like loads of relationships coming in or like big jumps in your career, because you're listening to what you want. You're just trying things out, taking your time, a little bit of respite, and getting really real with what you want. And I also feel like you're tapping into kind of like an inner like authority within you, because I feel like I'm kind of speaking my mind and I'm speaking my truth, and I'm not putting up with that anymore, and I don't want to do this anymore. There's like this fed up feeling where it's like, I don't want this anymore. I don't like this anymore. I don't want to put up with this anymore. I don't want these cycles anymore. And I also see you just getting real with yourself as well, in terms of like, I've got to stop running from this. So I've got to stop doing this, and I've got to stop being down on myself. Like if I need to rest, I need to rest. Or if I need to, if I want to jump towards this in a career, I want to build this as a career, I've got to stop putting myself down and telling myself I can't do it. So there's almost like this fed up feeling, but it's like you're falling back and listening to yourself and really listening to what you want, and anything that's coming in that's like would normally get in your way, it's like, not today. Not today, Satan. Like that's what I feel. So I feel like there's an empowerment energy that comes up. There's something about finding your voice. I don't know if somebody might try poking back at you in that time period. Like I don't know if because I feel like something's picked at you in the past, like something's pulled at you and yanked your energy, and I just feel like that time period in the second quarter of the year, there's something like at the beginning part where I'm like, leave, stop, go. I don't want, like, there's boundaries being put in. That's what it is. It's boundaries. I feel like you're listening to yourself and like, I don't like this, and I'm putting a boundary in. A lot of self-reflection at the beginning of the year and the first half, you guys. Like a lot of self-reflection and like, what do I want? I don't just want to rush forward and be chaotic. I want to take my time. What do I want? And that's what I'm being shown in the first quarter of the year. It does feel still, I'm not gonna lie. I see you letting go of something and there being a whirlwind at the beginning. Some of you could have already done it and just dealing with the wave of that at the beginning of the year. But the second part, it's almost like I'm fed up. There may be like frustrations and anger that comes out in those time periods, but I feel like it's anger you've repressed, it's frustrations that you've repressed, it's sadness that you've repressed, it's all of that. I see you just kind of dealing with that and just, moving it. I see you just kind of like moving it and purging it and releasing it and really talking your ish. You know what I mean? Really speaking your mind. So that's what I'm being shown in that time period for you. Going into the third quarter of the year, I'm hearing like this is I feel like you're on a bit of a solo journey this year. I'm not gonna lie. I have to just say the energies that I'm picking up and what's coming through. I see you're on a little bit of a solo journey, because I feel like I don't know why I feel like I'm rebuilding something. It's making me feel like you've moved on from something, you've let go of something, you've walked away from something, you've left something in the past. Like something's gone and now I'm rebuilding. And the first stage of the year is like, I'm dealing with the consequence of that and releasing it and dealing with what I need to deal with. And then the second quarter of the year, it's like I'm dealing with frustrations and all of that. I'm kind of sitting with it and dealing with them and talking my ish and tapping into like what I want. And then the third quarter of the year, it's like, okay, now I'm going to build. Now I'm going to rebuild. So I see the third quarter of the year, I keep being shown you go into loose ends and tying them up. That's what I'm being shown in the third quarter of the year. Like, I feel like I'm tapping into this energy deeper. Please, Spirit Guides, the Emperor card for the third quarter of the year. July, August, September. Yeah, I feel like I'm picking up the pieces. There's like a resolute, like I keep being shown the World card in my mind's eye. There's like a resolute, and there's this feeling of like onwards and upwards, and I see movements being made where you're able to kind of feel in control again. Because I feel like the beginning of the year you might not feel in control of things, like everything feels like it's happening to you, and then I feel the second part of the year, it's almost like it's slow. You're in a bit of a respite, and I feel like you're not coming or going at all. And I feel like the third part of the year, it's like the wheel is back in your hand, and I feel like you're starting to make moves and rebuild and tie the old up and pick up certain pieces and kind of like move forward and rebuild, if that makes sense. Some of you guys may even be going through like a dark night of the soul or like a shadow period where you're just releasing and purging and then you're building back up. It could be like a real internal year for you, you know what I mean, in terms of that. But I see you building back up. I also feel like there may be a business idea that comes up in the third quarter of the year. I feel like there may be because I feel like there's a focus on like stability, and I keep being shown like I don't know why I'm being shown the actual pyramids of Egypt being built for some reason. So yeah, I just feel like I'm building, but I think of like the pyramids being built, like the way they were built, the style that they were built in, there was a reason for it, you know what I mean? They literally align with Orion's belt, like the frequency and the energies that, to me, they're like portals, right? If you've ever like energetically been around them. And yeah, I just feel like the third quarter of the year, there's like a lot of purposeful building in your career, in relationships, whatever it is that you've let go of. I see purposeful building, and I see you, I don't feel like I'm rushing. I just feel like I'm taking my sweet time, and I feel like I'm slowly rebuilding what I've let go of. Maybe I'm getting back out into the dating world. Maybe I'm building up a new career path. Maybe I feel like there's something I'm starting from scratch. I don't know what that is. Or like what I have, I want to take it to a higher perspective. If it's like career, like you have like a certain career path, it's like I want to build even further than this. I have bigger goals, like I want to go further. Because I feel like I'm I don't know why I keep being shown like a clean slate and I'm building or I'm advancing. Like it's a new level. I'm being shown Super Mario. Like I'm in a new level. You feel very like free and open, and I just see a lot of building. But I don't know why. I'm not gonna lie. I'm struggling to read this energy. And I feel like the reason I'm struggling to read that energy is I feel like it's meant to be as open as it can, because I feel like this is that phase for you where you're going to start rebuilding. I feel like it's going to come in naturally, and I feel like the energy surrounding that, they're meant to just flow. I can't tap into it for some reason. There's like a fog over it. I don't know what it is you're fully rebuilding. I just keep being shown the pyramids and rebuilding with purpose. So I'm going to trust what Spirit is saying then. I'm just going to deliver that because I can't get into what it is. I don't know why there's like a fog around it. I think it's because it's not set in stone yet, because you haven't purged and released and, you know, made your mind up of like what feels right to you. And I think I'm not meant to imprint, and I think that's why there's like a fog that I can't tap into there, if that makes sense. The end of the year, you guys have the Four of Swords. Why is the Four of Swords there for the end of the year? Please tap me into my pile number 3s, October, November and December. Please tap me into October, November and December. This year there's just a lot of shakes and shift ups for you, and I feel like the end of the year, I see you building but taking your time. And I just think sometimes when we do a lot of inner work and we're doing a lot of clearing and there's so much that goes on, we don't realize how much of a toll that takes on us. We don't realize how much of a release is, you know, it is happening and what we're purging out. And I just feel like the end of the year, I think you're going to be getting like much needed like rest. I don't see a lot of movement. I know some people are going to be annoyed at that. I don't see a lot of movement for the end of the year. Like I see you rebuilding in the third quarter, and then it's like I just feel like I'm floating, but in a good way, because it's like what I need. And I think the reason you're in this energy is because when we plant a seed, it takes a minute for that energy to bloom and grow and come up out of the soil. And that's what's really going to be happening for you. I feel like this year you're kind of going to be planted in the soil, and I think that's why you're not feeling like there's a lot of movement, but it's because the movement's underneath the soil. So, and there's going to be a lot of moments where you just want to fall back a little bit and float, but it's because things haven't been activated or haven't bloomed yet. That doesn't mean they're not going to. They're probably going to come in, you know, the year after, but you're setting the foundations, you know what I mean? So don't be discouraged about like, I'm not seeing so much fruition this year and the flowers blooming, because for the flowers to bloom, you have to plant the seeds and water them. And that's what you're doing this year. That's what this year is about. There's something you're letting go and releasing. This could be energetically, it could be a literal ego death. This could be you're walking away from a career path, you're walking away from a relationship. Whatever it is, it's creating a big shift, and you are getting to know who you are at your core and what you want at your core. That's what you're doing. And don't rush anything. Don't try and force anything. I see you picking up the pieces slowly. That is going to be movement, but it's slow because you're watering and nurturing. And the more you're doing that, little bits are going to get activated, and you're going to learn more about yourself, and new parts of yourself are going to be revealed. And then you're going to bloom. And I think with the Four of Pentacles being at the back of the deck, I think it's there because I think this year is about you, and you really getting real with what you want and releasing anything that doesn't align with it. I think you've made a choice. This is how it feels. You've made a choice either recently or energetically that something wasn't for you, or the way you were living was not for you. You've released it. You've signaled to the universe, not mine anymore. I don't want it. I need more. The universe is answering that. You are literally jumping a timeline, but you are now in the wade-in process where there is a clear out. Like, we clear out the junk before we put the new furniture in. You know, we get rid of the weeds. I don't know why I keep being shown weeds and flowers. Like, we get rid of the weeds to plant, you know, get the seeds down, and we water it, but it doesn't sprout straight away. You know, we nurture it and we take our time and we learn how to care for the garden and nurturing that. And that's really what's happening for you this year. And I'm sorry for the third part why there was a fog and I was struggling to get words through. Like, I'm sorry for that, but I don't know. It's something that's not set in stone yet, because whatever it is you choose to build with, that's got to come from you, I feel. Whatever it is you pick up, it's going to be activated within you. And I'm not meant to imprint, I don't think. Because it's not that yet there yet. You're going to activate it. And I just feel like at the end of the year, there is going to be slow movement, but it's because things are going to be activated then the following year probably, you know what I mean, or right at the end of this year. So let's pull some more cards and get deeper. Pile number 3 is 2025. I think this is the year you're being planted into the ground. You've chosen different, you want more, and now you're being initiated into it. We always have to be initiated into something, you know, and that's what's happening. Or if you're like really deeply spiritual, you're going through an ego death and you're currently in the void stage of that ego death. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. I don't know why my voice went like that then. Anyway, pile number 3. What is to come for my pile number 3s? There's a lot of empowerment in the second quarter of the year. It's empowerment, whatever it is you're walking away. Because whatever it is you're walking away from, like, you've tapped into that strength to go, not for me, isn't for me, I deserve more, don't want it, you know? So there's already that fire and that empowerment there. Bear with me, I just dropped the cards again. Pile number 3, what is to come in 2025? Oh my god, hit me in the face. We have the universe. Yeah, you're jumping literal paradigms this year. That's what it is. Conflict and defeat. You're jumping paradigms this year. The 5 in the middle is you're shifting. You may be going through a personal year number 5. You may be going through a personal year number 9 in numerology. You may also be going through like an 8th house perfection year or a 12th house perfection year. You have financial and material changes as well. The back of the deck, you have passion ignited. Yeah, you're tapping into like yourself at your core. That's what you're doing, which has created this shift. I remember like back in 2020 and I went through like my ego death, and my whole life, like before that, everything fell away. Like my job, people that I would talk to, relationships, friendships, like so many things fell away. Even like the way I was living, like it all shifted and changed. And I went into a void stage that I pretty much was in for like a year. I would say like a year and a half. And then I entered this phase where these parts of me that I didn't even know that I had, they started to activate within me, and I was just tapping into so many beautiful things. And I'm saying it to you because I know going through it, because I felt like it, I was like, oh my god, I'm never going to feel happy again. Like I used to play SZA's song Good Days over and over and over again, because I was just like, please, like, am I going to be happy again, or am I going to get out of this? Because when you're purging those harder feelings and you're dealing with yourself at your core, like it can get scary because you're dealing with things that you have overlooked before, but you have to face them if you want that change. And once you face them, they make way for new things to come in, and those things get activated, and it all takes time. Please just trust this year, you know, because I feel like you're really supported, and I feel like this activation, which feels like it came from your heart space with this card, this activation is what's going to, you know, kind of rebirth you this year. You're going through a rebirth this year is what it is. So yeah, with the universe card, I just feel like you're jumping paradigms. We have the 2 and the 1 that adds up to 3. So that's 3 in numerology is Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. So it may not feel like, oh, I'm expanding and I'm butterflying and I'm jumping to this new era, but you are. You're just in your little cocoon for a bit. Because a butterfly has to go through the metamorphosis, and that's kind of like what you're doing. It's uncomfortable. I can't imagine my body turning into a piece of gloop in a cocoon. Do you know what I mean? So just bear with. I know. You're probably like watching this like, Lex, F off, like stop, like it's not nice. I know. Because I see that wave of emotion some of you guys are dealing with, but it's that purge, it's that transformation. I see it. I see that shift. I see you dealing with things that in the past maybe you looked away from. Fears, wounds, abandonment wounds is coming up for some reason. I don't know if you have abandonment wounds. That's coming up. Fears and lack of trust in yourself, and all of that's being looked at and being transformed and being released. And then financial and material changes. Another 5 again, so more changes, but I just feel like you I feel like there's a movement in your career, or there's a movement in like Like, for example, you could like be getting rid of a car, getting a new car, getting rid of a home, getting a new home, changing your home environment. Because I'm thinking of like material changes. Again, it could be job. Could, you know, we established that you could be jumping towards a new career. That could be what you left behind. Yeah, I keep being shown like a living situation that being shifted. I see somebody moving across country. I'm being shown that as well. I'm being shown like a train. Like I'm getting on a train and I'm moving across country. I don't know who that is, but I'm just being shown that. But there's a lot of movement in terms of, I think your physical world is gonna mirror your internal world. It could be like same house redecorating. It could be that. But I just feel like something about the environment is shifting and shaking up, or something materially that around me that I'm used to is shaking up. But for the good, because when we let go of that tower and we allow it to fall, you know, the tower falls because it's not sturdy. It wasn't built on sturdy grounds. And when we start to choose more and want more, we look at what wasn't sturdy about it and we deal with it so that the next tower can come in and not be so shaky. And I just feel like that's what's happening this year. And it's you looking in the mirror being like, I want more for myself. And you're going through that transition this year. It's a shift. It's like a big shift you're going through. Pile number 3. Please be easy with yourself this year. And also just please make sure you're taking care of yourself. Like you need to come first this year. Like you need to pour into yourself and just, yeah, I just, this year's about you and you just getting in touch with yourself. We have, you may want to be alone a bit more this year as well. I'm just being shown that. We have high honor. Pile number 3. We have lovers. Pile number 3. We have unexpected income. Okay, back of the deck you have privileged lady. Okay, high honor, lovers, unexpected income. I feel like you've put yourself on the back burner a lot in terms of like your career, your connections, your relationship. I feel like maybe you've put other people's needs first. Maybe you've worked really hard to not get much back. Maybe in relationships you've given a lot and not got what you give back. What's creating this change is you going, no, I want this back. And if I'm working this hard, I want this amount of pay. And if I'm putting this much energy into something, I deserve to see the results back. And if I'm giving to somebody in a relationship, I deserve that back. So I see you getting in touch with that and really establishing that within yourself. That's what's called, I want to say it's like a self-love journey sort of thing. It's like self-worth, self-love, that sort of thing. Like I want more, I'm done with this sort of thing. So I see a shift there because of that. Why do we have the Lovers card? I'm interested in that one. Why do we have the Lovers card, please? Why do we have the Lovers? Why do we have the Lovers card? Bear with me. I'm just looking at like relationships and friendships and I just don't feel like I'm poured back into. Or like people aren't hearing me or people aren't seeing me. Do you know what it is? I think that you, like I said, I saw a period in the second quarter of the year where like there's that vulnerability, that fragility of like you opening up to like your heart space. Like I was saying, the reveal of my heart from the song Get Free by Lana Del Rey. Like I feel like sometimes in your workspaces or your relationships or your friendships, you might have sometimes altered your energy to fit what people needed, and it stopped you from getting your own needs met, and it stopped you from really being seen and poured into. And I feel like this year, I feel like, because I see you with like connections and relationships, it's like you don't see me, you're not seeing me, you're not nurturing me, you're not pouring into me, like that part of me that I need you to see, like it's like you don't see me, and that's the frustration, that's where it's coming from. So I see you tapping into that yourself and really nurturing it, which is going to then make room for connections to come in that see you and understand you and respect you and pour into you and nurture you, and they don't want anything else from you, but they just, you know, they want to love you, and you don't need to do anything to be that, to be loved. They're just able to pour into you. And I feel like that's the transformation you're going on in terms of that, to be honest with you. And I think as well, you stepping more into that energy, because I'm going on to the unexpected income then. When you guys step more into that energy with the Emperor card of like picking up, like kind of like picking up the pieces and like building, I see you in a much stronger, bold energy of like, I know what I want and these are my prices. Like, let's just say you could be like doing tarot readings, right? And your prices are like really low because you just don't feel, or people have made you feel like you shouldn't have the price up. And I see you like, no, the price is going up. That's what I'm doing. Like, I see that a lot in the third quarter of the year, or like in relationships, like you might start dating or maybe talking to some people and it's like, I need this, I need this, I need this, and really voicing it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm being shown with the unexpected income, but it's more like I'm putting the price up. And I feel like later on then, I feel like, you know, or just as a result of that, you're going to draw people in that are able to like really see and nurture you and pour into you the way that you deserve. There's such a shift happening here, and it's coming from your heart space for sure. Yeah, so let's pull your final card, the energy of 2025 for my pile threes. The energy of 2025, such a big butterfly year. It may feel uncomfortable right now. You may even feel from this reading like, oh, shifts, oh my god, like it's positive though. And I know me saying that, you're going, Lexi, shut up. Because I too have been through shifts like that, and I've thought that myself. When my guides would be like, this is so positive for you, and I'd be like, don't, please don't, this is stress. And then I've looked back and I'm like, oh my god, that was such a beautiful time period, but I didn't realize it because I was in the thick of it. But that was so beautiful, the way everything shifted and how I'm here now, you know what I mean? And that is where you're headed. It is beautiful. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. What is to come for the year 2025 for my pile number 3s? We have the mouse spirit, tend to the small things. In the back of the deck, back of the deck, I didn't say anything else, I said deck. We have moth spirit, surrender now, and it's reversed. I think the shift has been coming, and I think you finally just felt like, I'm ready to go with it, I'm ready to flow, I'm ready to just, I need more, I can't take it anymore, like I need that shift, I need that jump. It's being activated now. And I think this year you're going to be moving through a lot of feelings and energies and emotions. Just take care of you this year. This year is for you. Nurture yourself, pour into yourself. If there are people around you that make you feel seen and loved and safe, of course, let them in, pour into them too. But this year is for getting to know yourself and pouring into you and tending to the small things, like, you know, getting to know yourself again and getting to know these deeper parts of you. I feel like that's what this year is for you. And really dissecting as well whatever is falling away and being like, okay, this is from this, and I don't want to follow that pattern again. There's a lot of that, you know, that I feel like you're working through this year. So pile 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you got what you needed from the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. Sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal folk, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what is to come in 2025. So what I'm going to do is I'll be pulling a tarot card for each quarter of the year. The first card being the first quarter, the second card being the second quarter, so on and so on. And then once I've kind of got like a skeleton of your year, I'm going to pull oracle cards and kind of go deeper with that. So I'm going to get straight in. So the first quarter being January, February, March. What is to come in the first quarter for my pile number 4s, please? What is to come in the first quarter of the year for my pile number 4s? tap me into my pile number 4s, please. Tap me into my pile number 4s. What is coming in for the first quarter of the year? We have the 8 of Cups. The second quarter of the year, April, May, June. What is coming in the second quarter of the year? Let me move that down so you can see it. There we go. What is coming in the second quarter of the year for my pile number 2s, pile number 4s, please? What is coming in the second quarter of the year for my pile number 4s? We have the Queen of Cups. Okay. I just heard Harley's song In Your Hands when I put the Queen of Cups down. I just shared it clairaudiently then. The third quarter of the year for my pile number 4s, please. So July, August, September. What is to come in the third quarter of the year? What is to come in the third quarter of the year? One card, please, Spirit Guides. What is to come in the third quarter of the year? We have the 4 of Wands. I just got told the third quarter of the year is going to be a bit eventful. We'll see what that's about in a second. And the fourth quarter of the year, October, November, December. What is coming for the 4? Oh, cards just flipped over for me. We have Justice. Okay. And we have the Page of Cups at the back of the deck. Okay, let me just make sure you can see them all. Yeah, you can. It's fine. Okay, 8 of Cups, Queen of Cups, 4 of Wands, Justice. So the first quarter of the year, please, Spirit Guides, tap me into the first quarter for my pile number 4s, please. What I see in the first quarter of the year, I'm seeing a lot of like emotional clarity coming in. That's what I'm seeing. Because the way that I feel in this energy, I'm very connected to my feelings. So I don't know if you guys have had like a purge or release or like an openness in like your heart center, because I just feel very open. I feel very open emotionally, and I feel like things are waking up inside of me because I keep being shown like little seeds like being planted in that area. And I don't just mean like emotions in terms of just like connections and things like that, but like what you actually want out of life. You may have found that the way that you might have built things in the past, or the way that you went about relationships and connections and, you know, working towards your career, it might have been very logic based, or it could have been like, I have to have this to prove this, or it could have been more like ego. Whereas this year I see you being like, what makes me feel comfortable, what makes me feel safe. And there's a reference of like coming back to your like emotional center, like I feel like I'm coming back home in a way this year. So I don't know if you've had a rough couple of years. This year feels peaceful. I feel like I'm coming back home, and I feel like naturally and energetically I keep being shown towers falling behind you, and this isn't a bad thing. I'm being shown things that just do not fit you, just crumbling away. And normally when I see that, I can see restraint, and I can see people trying to hold on to what's fallen. And there's such a trust that I feel like is awakening within you, especially in the first quarter of the year, where it's like, what's for me is going to be for me. So whatever does fall away, whatever's like dusting, you know, because I'm being shown like a mountain and then like rocks starting to like fall down it, and it's like, well, they're meant to fall, they've served their purpose, and now they need to take another form. So I do see maybe moments of like, oh my god, what is happening, or I don't feel connected to this anymore, or I don't you know, I don't like what I'm maybe feeling right now. There are going to be little blips and moments of that, but I see you kind of like riding the wave. I saw I think it was a TikTok the other day, or it might have been an Instagram reel, and it was like, we're not meant to control the waves, we're meant to dance with them. And it was like this water being in the water dancing with the waves, and I just kind of see that with you guys. Like I see you guys just really hooking in and tapping into like what you want. There may come moments in the first quarter of the year, because I'm being shown mirrors around you, so there may be moments where things may like trigger you, but it's like making you look at like, it's helping you sort things out, like what do I want, and what makes me feel peace, and what does my heart actually want, and what is it that I'm looking for. So I would pay attention at any time over the 3 months, like January, February, March, of like, how do these things make me feel. Like it could be that like you were fine kind of heading towards your job, but now when you do it, you don't feel the best and you feel like there needs to be a different direction. Or you could have been in a relationship where it was fine, but now you're feeling like you've grown and you need more needs, and you have more needs. And that's really what it is. I feel like, because I feel like I'm being shown two, so it could be the last 2 years. I'm being shown swords, a lot of mental conflict, and I'm being shown like a lot of maybe chaos, or just maybe even confusion. And I feel like this year is kind of like a year for clarity, but it's also a year for surrendering. And I think that you surrendering is what's bringing the clarity, but I think that you're also, because of that chaos, I think you've grown, and I think that there's more needs and parts of you that you're awakening to this year. And I think that you've grown in such a beautiful way, and I think it's like, how can I nurture what's happened now? Because I feel like where you've grown is emotionally, and I think like where you've grown is in like your heart center, and I think that you're aligning and anchoring in this year to something that feels better for you. Like I feel like you're anchoring and aligning this year with what your heart truly wants, and anything that doesn't fit it, any routines that didn't fit it, any ways of living that didn't fit it, it's starting to fall away. So I see a lot of shifts and changes, but I feel like the first 3 months, it's almost like a crumbling. I don't... Tap me deeper into it just so I can give like some specifics of what I'm being shown. For some of you, this is more a peaceful, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to push my energy in that way anymore. This isn't the type of connection that I want anymore. This isn't that anymore. And there's like a very peaceful, like I'm walking away, that feels more emotional in terms of like, if I don't subscribe to it, I'm just not gonna like align with it. Whereas others of you might start making physical shifts of walking away from things. This feels like, and I was speaking with, you guys may know, the comic DF, Mindy. She does like psychic readings on like celebrities and like worldly things. Love her. Go give her a subscribe. I was speaking with her the other day, and we were talking from a numerology perspective, and from a collective perspective, she reminded me we're going through the personal year number 9. Because we were talking about our personal year numbers, and collectively we're going through a 9 year, not personal year. And 9 is endings. 9 is letting go of, you know, what isn't serving us. And I feel like you guys specifically are very hooked into that. You could also be going through a personal year number 9. But honestly, that shift, it almost feels like from the beginning, like the early quarter of the year, it's more like, I don't want this anymore, or this doesn't fit right anymore, and I'm just going to trust. There's an inner peace that you guys are finding in the first quarter of the year. You are walking away from things, but it's in a good way, and it's in a peaceful way. There's like a contentment, and yes, like I said, there may be little triggers that come up or whatever, but I see you sitting with them and allowing them to flow. And I see a lot more being woken up inside of you then. So that's what I'm being shown. And you're very connected to your inner world. That's what I will say, like your inner emotions and what you want. That then takes us into the second quarter of the year, where we have the Queen of Cups. With that being said, there's this Fool energy that I'm getting, and like I'm being shown the Fool card in tarot. There's this fresh feeling that I'm feeling where it's almost like I want to learn. Imagine like being put on a new earth, like a new world, and you don't know what the weather's like, and you don't know what the food is like, and you don't know the languages, and even the way the people on that earth are living, you don't know. You move differently, so it's like you want to understand it. So it's like, well, what do I like in this new world? What fruit do I like? What season and climate do I prefer? And what types of people do I prefer to be around? Imagine that, because that's what I feel like you're kind of doing. There's this new version of you that's being activated. So I see you kind of like, I see you coming out into the world, if that makes sense, slowly. This is all like, you're just taking your time. And when I say slowly, I don't mean you're moving slow. It's like everything's with intent. So everything's just coming in nice and you're very receptive to things. I just see you doing things and learning. Like some of you guys may start dating around that time period of like April, May, June, if you're single, but it's in a very free way. And sometimes when I say that, people think I mean, oh, you're just dating around with no objective. No, it's like you're learning through experiences, like, does this fit me? Do I like this? Is this what I want? And learning through that. So I see some dating or maybe talking to people and kind of just checking in with yourself, like, what is it that I want? Does this fit right for me? And I also see you guys just trying out new things, and there's no rush. It feels like you feel everything's happening in the way it's supposed to be. I hope this makes sense, because even when I'm speaking, everything feels slow. It's just happening. And I see that time period feeling very bright for you. I see some of you guys in that period really like doing things to like romanticize your life. So you guys could be like, because I see you starting new things, so you could be starting a new course, you could be starting new classes in something, you could be learning to do something, you could be going to the gym, you could be trying out like a new sport or whatever it is. Again, it could be the relationship side and dating as well, and it could be career things, you could be throwing new darts at the board or whatever. But it's like, I see you romanticizing whatever it is that you're doing, and I see you kind of like making sure that you're enjoying life and like, what makes me feel good. There's like a nurturing feeling that you're bringing to yourself, like whatever you need. What do you need? What makes you feel good? Like, there's a lot of that, and I see that for you guys. So I see a lot of new beginnings and freshness. There's nothing like I'm not saying that aren't going to be moments of intensity, because I see you sitting with emotions, but it's like you're learning to just process it and allowing it to flow. And I just see a lot of like newness and freshness, and similar to one of the other piles that I did, I'm seeing to-do lists and things being ticked off. So things that because do you know what it is? I feel like you may have had like lists, and even going into New Year's going, I want to do this, 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 and this. And maybe your approach before might not have worked for you and that it would fall through. Whereas this year, it's almost like there's a different approach. I feel less tense. I feel less anxious. I'm just flowing. So because I'm just flowing, it's happening for me. Like, I'm making it work. And in doing that, these things are being ticked off. I remember somebody saying on TikTok that they used to like, they wanted to be consistent in the gym, but like they'd wake up early and do all of these things, and the routine was so, it was just too much that they would fail instantly. They would not be able to go and do it. Whereas when this person was like, do you know what, I'm just going to go when I feel like it, there was an abundance of opportunity to go, and she ended up going more than she ever had, because there was no, I have to do this, 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 and this. And that's what this year feels like for you guys. And this is the year that I see you getting things done and things ticked off your lists, things that you've wanted to do, seeds you wanted to sow, that project you wanted to start, that course you wanted to take, you wanted to, you know, start this sport or do this and change this in your lifestyle. I see you doing it this year, but it's because you don't have this massive expectation of like, you have to do all of these things. And I think something that you've released as well within yourself is like a perfectionistic trait of like, I have to have everything all together and I have to have it all done really quickly. I think you're releasing that this year, and it's just like, I'm going at my own pace. And that's really what's being woken up inside of you. And I think that's really beautiful, because you're starting to slowly listen to your needs, and I feel like they're being mirrored back to you, and there's like a lot of opportunity to like try new things and start new things, and it's there's no pressure. There's such a trust in spirit. I also see you guys connecting with spirituality this year, especially around the second quarter of the year, but in a way that's a lot more softer, because there's so many elements to us connecting to ourselves spiritually. We can do the deep purging, we can analyze everything, we can, you know, self-love and all of this, but there's also parts where we can just connect to it in a light way, where we can just sit and meditate just to clear our brain. I remember somebody said once, like, what's the point of meditating if like you're not trying to heal this or do that? And it's like, sometimes we just need to clear our thoughts, and that's really what it is. And it's something where some of you guys are waking up to like, or coming back to a level of your spirituality that's light and airy, because you've already done the hard hitting fiery alchemy. It's like there's a softness coming in now, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? And just enjoyment. And I think that's what you're nurturing a lot. And I think there's like new beginnings. I keep being shown May specifically for you guys. Again, timing can change, because timing's always in a state of flux, but there's something about May that is bright for you guys. So I don't know if you're going to start something new, but it feels like very quaint and light, and you're just enjoying it, and it just feels nice. I can't even begin to describe how I feel in this. I just feel really nice. The only way I can describe how this year is going to feel from my perspective, is like, have you ever woken up by a beach and it's a sunny morning and you've got nothing to do for the day and you're just like, yeah, I'll head down to the beach and the waves will come in and there's no, you've got to do this and do that and the sun is rising and it's just like possibilities. That's how this year feels for me to you. Like, you know what I mean? When I'm tapping in, that's how I would describe this year for you. And just whatever will come and I'm learning. And it feels very, very beautiful in that aspect. Then we move on to the third quarter of the year. The seeds that would be planted vary like naturally through the second quarter. So going into the third quarter of the year, tap me into that, please, Spirit Guides, the Four of Wands. Tap me into there's a manifestation that's coming in the third quarter of the year, something that you've been wanting to achieve. I think it's going to come into full bloom. So think of something you've been trying to do for some time and it just hasn't worked. You start to slowly do it with no expectation just because this year, and it comes in at full bloom. Like there's something you've wanted to reach, a feeling that you've wanted to reach, something that you've wanted to have and manifest and bring in. It comes in very naturally in the third quarter of the year, because I see for a lot of you a moment of like, oh my God, I got this. It's like a aha. It's like I've got it in my hand. I have it here. So that's what I'm being shown. Something is coming in there because I see you busy with something and just enjoying something. Like you feel so connected to your emotions, because I'm hearing somebody say, I just want to enjoy this right now. You're very aware of like moments shift and change all the time. Let me just enjoy this. You know what I mean? Like, let me just enjoy this experience. I don't know what that is. It could be a relationship blossom for some of you guys. I mean, we do have the guy and the girl on a little date in the Four of Wands there. So it could be that. But it could also be you guys just building stepping stones towards something, or just achieving something and a goal that you've wanted to. You know what I mean? Maybe you get that house, you buy that car, you pass that test. Like, whatever it is, I just see an achievement come the third quarter of the year. It feels around August time. But yeah, that's what I'm being shown. Everything just feels soft to me though. Anything else for the third quarter of the year, please, Spirit Guides? I feel like I'm starting to build in the third quarter of the year. Like things are starting to move a little bit faster, but in a good way, not like you're losing control. It's more so like there's a passion burning within you that I see you pouring into something. So that could be a passion project. That could be your career. That could also be a relationship. Whatever it is, it's something that you've been manifesting to bring in. There's like a passion. I see a to-do list being ticked off and it's like, now I can do this. So there's like a passion that you're focused on. There's something you're enjoying and you're giving a lot of energy to it in that time period. Like it feels like a full circle as well. Like I feel like it's a celebration. I feel like I've finally ticked that off the list, so now I can experience this. I finally passed that course and now I can get into this. Or I finally got that house and now I can decorate it. Or I'm finally, met someone that I'm enjoying spending time with and I'm ready to pour into it, from a relationship perspective. But whatever it is, it's connected to like a manifestation that you've wanted to bring in. And I think you letting go of that manifestation is what's bringing it in. There's such a flowing energy here, which is really lovely. Going into the fourth quarter of the year, we have Justice. Can you tap me into that energy, please? Tap me into the fourth quarter of the year for my pile number fours. Tap me into the Justice card, pile number fours. I'm hearing you reap what you sow, and you've reaped a lot. You know what I mean? In a good way. Because sometimes people take that saying in a bad way, like, oh, you reap what we sow. No, like, this feels like in a good way. It's like you've really tended to your soil for you to be so flowy and open this year. You've really allowed such vulnerable pieces of yourself to open up, to show you this is what I want and this is what I need, and you're listening to it this year. And because of that and all the work that you've done there, it's coming in for you. I see you in a receptive state, an Empress state. It's coming in for you. I see manifestations coming in. I see life feeling a lot more clearer for you. I feel like life has been a bit hard for you the last couple of years. Maybe for some time. I think you've been in a shadow period. That's going. The clouds are moving out. Similar to, because I'm sure it was pile 1 where I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I'm sure I heard that song in one of the other piles. I'm sure it was pile 1. there's a similarity somewhere, but the clouds are like moving away, and it's like I can see again, and I feel like everything's coming into balance. I hope this makes sense. Like where you felt lost, I see you feeling gain. Where things were a bit tricky for you, they're smoothing out. I'm being shown the opposite of a tide. So whatever was out is coming in. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm seeing for you guys, because I keep being shown the yin yang. It's like the Justice card. It's a balance. You know what I mean? I also feel like there may be, for some of you guys, something like legally you're doing, but in a good way. I hope this makes sense. So like, because I'm being shown documents, so you could be like putting in for like a house, or you could be like, I don't know why I'm being shown somebody sign like a contract or something around the end of the year. Like I just feel like there's a contract being signed. So this could be like you got a job offer and you're signing a contract. But for some of you guys, there's something like legal here. I don't know what that is, but it's like good. It could be something like you starting a business, you get insurance for something. You know what I mean? Like there's something there, but I just see some sort of contract. You could be like insuring like your name for a business or something like that, or copywriting it. I think that's the word, copywriting it. Or there's just something here where there's like files, but it's like something's official in a good way. Some of you guys could be getting married at the end of the year. If you already have someone, that would be. But yeah, I just see like confirmation, like it's official. Something official is happening at the end of the year. It could be that you have a baby at the end of the year if you're already in a relationship and it's a birth certificate. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, there's something where it's like I'm signing something, and I don't know, there's something here that I'm picking up on. But yeah, the Page of Cups, I just feel like you're open this year. And I think what's driving this is like, it's good to have expectation, but to have it in a detached way where you're not pushing yourself to hit, 100 on the meter, and then when you don't hit it, being mad at yourself. You know what I mean? This year, it's like, I'm gonna hit 100 on the meter, but I'm gonna do it in my own way, and I'm just gonna like flow. And if I don't manage to do it this year, then that's okay. Like maybe it wasn't time, and that in itself is taking you to it's like I get it. You know what I mean? I see you moving towards things because there's like a healthy detachment of like what will be, and I trust that I'll make the right moves. And there's just a lot of that, and I feel I want to sit and feel, like even when I'm speaking to you guys, like I almost feel like I want to pull back and just feel what I'm feeling. There's a lot of that this year, just listening to your intuition. It feels that way for you guys. You could be going through a personal year number 2 as well, just because I don't know, I just feel like you guys are listening to your intuition and flowing. It just feels really lovely. So let's pull some more cards. So pile number 4, please, Spirit Guides. What is to come in 2025 for my pile 4s? What is to come in 2025 for my pile 4s? What is coming in 2025? Yeah, someone's signing something legally at the end of the year. I just feel like there could be like a house, a car, a job thing. Some of you guys are like going into your own business sort of thing. Yeah. I'm hearing, there's this song by Vanessa Hudgens on one of her old albums, like back in like 2008, and there was this song called Whatever Will Be Will Be. And when I was little, like little Lexi used to love that song so much. And I remember the lyric being, I've learned to say whatever will be will be. I know that's part of the lyrics, and that's what I'm hearing. I don't know, the lyrics may resonate with you. It's Vanessa Hudgens, Whatever Will Be will be. I can't remember the rest of the song, but I know little Lexi loved that one. Pile 4, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 4. What is to come in 2025 for my pile 4s? We have patience and planning. Yeah, patience, that's the thing. Pile number 4. I also feel like you're learning to settle your storms. Look what we've got here. We've got patience and planning, and then patience again. Like, that's what you're learning to do this year. But your patience and fallback is causing change in the good way, because it's like, I trust and I'm letting go. I think you've always been we literally have balance coming into Justice. You can't make this up. At the back of the deck, you have emotional loss. we'll get into that. So let me put this, I'll put it over here. Okay, so patience and planning, and then patience again. I just feel like in the past, you may have approached goals with like, to feel worthy, I must achieve this, or I have to overwork to achieve this, or everything has to be perfect, and everything has to be in order, and everything has to be here and now. You know what I mean? And this year, it's like, I've just got to do what I need to do in the moment. Like, it's feeling very Taurus to me. Like, I'm tending to the garden, but it's like an everyday thing. Like, you know, we pick up the weeds one day, the next day we plant the seeds, and then every day we water them, and we just sit with them, and we just, what do you need? Do you need sunlight? Okay, let me move this plant pot over here. Oh my god, you're getting too much sunlight now and you're dying off. Okay, let me put you in the shade. Like, that's what we do when we tend to a garden, and that's what's happening this year. And it's like, I feel like at times, and I think you have amazing ambition, and I think you have amazing motivation, and I think that's why you've been able to get to this point. And I think that you might have, you know, gone through the other years kind of going like, I need to achieve this, and I need to know all there is to know, and this needs to happen, and everything needs to work out fine, and this has, and I just feel like you've been through that. And I feel like you've also worked on yourself a lot with